Okay, first off, I just realized that I really need a vacation. I still have this on the slides as the European Commission. I do not work for the European Commission. I work for the Austrian Environment Agency. So anytime you see European Commission written somewhere, it's a lie. It says Umweltbundesamt. You can't pronounce it, but it's there. Okay, so I'll be telling you a bit about what we're doing currently of taking what's been defined for INSPIRE and extending it for European environmental reporting obligations on the example of air quality. Okay, so we've got our INSPIRE data specifications. They're nicely based on ISO OGC standards. They cover all of these various environmental areas as defined in the directive. And we've had various use cases saying this environmental legislation, this reporting obligation should fit in there. But at the same time, we couldn't be totally specific here because a lot of the themes are too generic, so we can't have all of that in. And therefore, we've tried within INSPIRE, we've tried to do sort of a basic thing everybody can use, and now we're trying to see how can we extend this properly to then use it for European environmental reporting. So what steps are required to do this? First step is you have to go through the various legal requirements, go through the directives, implementing provisions, and whatever. Then you have to find the relevant INSPIRE themes. I'll go through these steps then in detail. Figure out which feature types can we use, then see how do these fit to what needs to be reported, somehow jiggle them to the part where they really cover the whole reporting requirement, and then show how this then provide a mapping from the legal stuff to the finalized schemas. So the background, we've got in air quality, it's nice because they put out a new directive 2008, which harmonizes, I don't know how many different existing reporting obligations, and it clearly states it has to be done using INSPIRE. So we've got the basic directive. We then have the implementing provisions, which breaks down the directive from totally theory to a bit more what needs to be reported. And then we also have the guidelines, which really say what concept should be reported how. At the same time, we've got all these different INSPIRE themes. First one is area management, environmental monitoring facilities, atmospheric conditions, I believe that is. Then we've got the transport networks for certain cases. And we've also got the various stuff we've been doing within observations and measurements within the GCM, which is to be used across themes. So this was my basic thing of building blocks. What do I get to play with? And now I have to see how I get this extended to the point where it fits all the legal stuff I was showing before. So how do we bring this together, make a reporting schema, and make everybody happy with this? Next one is the fixed measurement information. There, the environmental monitoring facilities theme covers this nicely. And there we would use the facilities, the networks, the observing capabilities, which describe what exactly the station can measure. This I'm going to flip through actually very quickly. This is from an old presentation. It shows how the INSPIRE data model maps to real air quality monitoring. If somebody's interested, look at it at your leisure. It's too much information for this talk. Indicative measurement, again, is the environmental monitoring facilities. The modeling information, we're actually going to be taking the models from the atmospheric conditions and meteorological features because that goes much better for really providing a model coverage of the air quality over the whole country. Primary data, again, comes down to the environmental monitoring facilities with a strong focus on observations and measurements to really get the measurement data out. So that's why we've now got the bottom part of the EF model really highlighted. And here's a short thing also showing how the measurement data then comes through, that the green bit's already stuff which is defined for the stations, and then we can hang all of our nice time series onto that. And the final bit which we have to then map is for the aggregated data. This partially goes towards the EF, partially also towards the atmospheric conditions, and again makes strong use of observations and measurements. Okay, so what do we do? I'm taking an example for the basic facilities. We have our class from INSPIRE. We've got our concepts from the reporting obligation. So a lot of these things we can go through and say the various bits which need to be reported are actually in INSPIRE, a direct mapping, tell the people, put this information there, and you're covered. Sometimes it's also just a direct mapping to relations we have within the model. In this case, we've got the facility, we've got the network, within the reporting obligation, you have to say which is the relevant network for a facility, so it actually points to the relation between the two. Some bits have to be extended to Inspire, that we say the reporting obligation requires things like the name of the nearest town. Inspire doesn't really care about this. These are some of the bits we have to add. And here's showing then now the new derived class for the air quality station, where on the left we've got the normal environmental monitoring facility straight from Inspire. At the right we've got the extended class. So the stuff up in the little blue box is all the extra stuff which we add to make sure it also covers the full reporting obligation. And the final bit we have to catch is there are some cases where we have things within Inspire which are mandatory, which aren't even thought of by the legislation. Example here is within EF we've said we want to know what media was monitored there. Is this air quality, water quality, whatever? Within air quality legislation, it's closed shop there. Of course it's air. So who needs to add that? And therefore these are going to be bits which still need to be added to the data flows, because if this is part of Inspire, it's an open world and people need to know this is air quality data we're dealing with. So then the final bit is then we have to extend these Inspire bits also to the reporting guidelines, since these are concepts they aren't really expecting to come. Then we provide a nice mapping. We've got here on the left, we've got the various concepts from the legislation. Then we've got a column saying what class this is mapped to, and then I've provided the XPath of the exact concept where this is supposed to be mapped to. So conclusions of all of this. The Inspire themes provide very nice basic building blocks which can then be extended for reporting. They need to be extended in most cases because if we would include the full width and breadth of the reporting obligations in Inspire, if nothing else, it would be a legal nightmare. If every time a thematic reporting obligation changes, we have to change that, we have to change the reporting guidelines, and we have to change Inspire, this is not fun. What else do we have here? Okay, I mean, the real advantage of all of this is basically it's a way of serve once and reuse multiple times. If member states put their air quality data out as they have to do this for reporting, they've done the reporting obligations, but they have their Inspire obligations also done. And so it's basically synergies for everybody.
Ati, thank you very much.